The anti-hero, the outsider, the one who walks the fine lines of morality. How you all doing, peasants, on this most auspicious of days? I'm going to talk about my favourite trope of all time, the anti-hero. I'm a real sucker for anti-heroes, and today I'm going to do my top 10 favourite Final Fantasy anti-heroes of all time. Now, disclaimer before I start, all I'd say is a hero, anti-hero, anti-villain, and villain. It's quite grey, the four concepts. Exactly which characters fall into which bracket comes down to personal preference a lot of the time. So this is just my personal list, my personal opinion. It would be a damn miracle if yours was the same as mine. So with that in mind, let's get balls deep in this list. Let's do it. Let's go. Starting off with Adia Kramer. Now, besides being a damn good looking woman, she's a really hard one to place. Adia begins as FF8's main villain, a sorceress who does some pretty messed up stuff, but then it all flips and we find out she was just being mind controlled and that she's done many a good deed or two, such as wearing that dress, actually founding the socially excluded egg division, aka Seed, basically being everyone's mum, I mean like literally everyone, even alone, helping out Lagener, stopping Ultimercia, wearing that dress again, and then providing shelter, guidance and information to Squall and the gang later on in the game. Damn, the longer I think about it, the more I think Adia might just deserve to be called a straight up hero. In at number 9 from FF13, Cid reigns, who stands in the path of Lightning and the gang, forcing the team to reluctantly fight him. Reluctant because Cid's sole purpose was to defy his own fate as a lessee, to save the world and stop Wrinkles McGee from initializing Ragnarok. Damn you, Wrinkles McGee. And it would have worked. Killing the group would have nipped the Fal'Cie plan in the bud. Cid reigns, he later returns in Lightning Returns as the representative voice of pretty much all of mankind, attempting to explain chaos to Lightning. Kinda like what I've been trying to do for months now in my damn theory videos. So Cid, he is a true anti-hero. I can relate to you. And with how toxic Toriyama had intentionally made the 13 group at the start, the question you have to ask yourself is, would you have trusted this dysfunctional lot with the fate of the world? Really? Number 8, General Leo Christoph from 6, what a lad. Never have I seen a stronger moral compass than in this guy. Leo, he is a guy you instantly feel like a jackass for being on the opposite side to begin with. He tries to limit casualties in Doma, he tries to negotiate peace with the Espers, and when Kefka shows just how much off his damn fruitcake he really is, Leo fights him. A fight that Kefka would have had zero chance of winning, and he had to resort to disguising himself as Jazstal to use Leo's one and only greatest weakness against him, his honour and loyalty. But seriously, Kefka wouldn't have had a chance. I mean, look at those dodges. General Leo, more like General Neo, am I right? Fuck off, the joke sounded better in my head. At number 7, I'm putting Gilgamesh. Now, some people might be surprised that I classify Gilgamesh as an anti-hero, but classify, I do. He fits the qualification. We fight him throughout FF5, though it's somewhat in a light-hearted, trolly kind of way, before he converts and helps out Bartz and the team in battle. And that's just it. Gilgamesh, he's this lost traveller who in his confusion looks to fight worthy opponents. There's nothing inherently nefarious in his plots. He never preys on the weak and he does have this code of honour. But for me, his true rise to anti-hero status, it really came when Type 0 finally gave us his backstory. A great king of Lorica he was, who wanted well for his people, asking that Enkidu would guide him if ever he lost his way. Before his people he tried to serve were nuked off the face of the planet. God damn, I bet you never knew that the story of Gilgamesh was that heavy. Now, talking of Lorica, Type 0 and nukes, Cueto Bastor the Unscathed makes my number 6, a very ironic title to give yourself, Unscathed. when you're wearing an eye patch, son. Cueto, he is one of the most badass military figures in the series, in my opinion, especially when you see this guy's mech piloting skills. God damn, he's impossible to hit. Cueto, he is someone you would typically label an anti-villain until you kind of learn that in this bloodbath of a game where the most insane kill count in the series happens from both sides, I mean it racks up into its millions, you learn that there are really no inherently bad guys in this game. And the Militesi Empire, they have been starving, dying of poverty because they've been crystalless, and Cueto, he's revered as a hero by his people. Then we go on to the compassion he showed for Arya, typically not that of an anti-villain, and I have absolutely no clue why I'm on Arya, why I'm so fond of this foul-mouthed lovable assistant. I don't know why, but Cueto's ultimate curtain call comes when he drives himself and a nuke out of the atmosphere, saving millions of people's lives, including Class Zeros, and that's what makes him an anti-hero in my mind. Bravo, Cueto, the undisintegrated. Another eye patch wearing military type next, would you believe it, with Beatrix from FF9. Prisoner to her strict sensibilities of loyalty, she does some pretty messed up stuff under Queen Bran, to say the least. Starting off as our enemy and coordinating the massacre at Bermesia, Beatrix is one of the most powerful people in the FF9 universe by a mile, with the legendary reputation of being able to kill 100 men in one sword swing. She starts off hella intimidating, pretty ominous. Like, for real, I would break into a nervous sweat every time this lady arrived when I was younger, and that was all before her dramatic U-turn. And dramatic it was, saving Garnet, defending Alexandria, chasing love letters around a courtyard, and even giving a guy like Steiner a chance. But please, all of that aside, please can someone answer the question, when all the FF9 characters are borderline chibi midgets, how am I as attracted to this woman as I am? How? Noah von Ronsenberg from FF12 next, who took on his mother's surname of Gabranth. Now, finding the justification not to call Gabranth the total badass that he is, an anti-villain, is quite hard. I mean, he kills Rex, he kills Drace, he abets in the death of King Romanos, and he does help to spread the Arcadian Empire's tyranny all over the world. It's a pretty steep list where I don't think just, I was doing me duty, governor, does not quite cut it. But Gabranth, he's got a really sad story. Now, he feels that his people and his brother Bash had abandoned him, and ultimately, despite all that, he does turn on Vayne in the end, aiding you in saving Evilis and to protect Larsa, who they see as the future for peace. But most importantly of all, and this is why I will give him anti-villain, is he does willingly pay the ultimate price for his crimes at the end of the day. I mean, he paid it, people. God damn, what else do you want from him? He's an anti-hero, alright, and if you disagree, you don't have to kiss me goodbye. You can kiss me arse. My number anti-hero spot, Shinra and the Turks. Now, some of you might have just pulled a "what you talking about" Willis face at the screen. Okay, first of all, I wanted to pick Song, who acts as this aloof guardian of Aerith with hints of genuine caring, and as well as some next level stalker skills, let's be real. Then Rufus, I thought about him, who despite being a greedy arsehole, he doesn't want the world to end, and he assists in saving it in pretty significant ways. Then Reno and Rude, who also aid in hiding Squid Bitch, fighting the Albino brothers, and then there's Cisne, who went to some seriously dangerous lengths to help Zack Fair. And it was soon that I realised the Turks and Shinra as a whole, they make up my number 4. Some would say that they were just anti-villains, not anti-heroes, and I would have agreed with you up until the point of Advent Children, where not only do they admit themselves that they want to make up for their mistakes, no, although some of us might call that bullshit, even Cloud kind of does, Despite that, they do save the world. They do. They save them. They do. They go out the way to help civilians, help kids multiple times. And it gets to a point where Cloud, who honestly would rather accept a smear test from Edward Scissorhands, even he recognises that Shinra and the Turks are a necessary evil whose resourcefulness, whose slyness, he kind of comes to rely on, and he kind of needs them to keep the world safe. So yep, the Department of Administrative Research is definitely its own unique brand of hero. Oh goddamn. We are coming to the peak of the list now, and Jekt from Final Fantasy X is my number 2. Shitty father? Check. Arrogant? Check. An ego bigger than Lulu's side fringe? Check. And yet Jekt, despite all of the things, he was such a badass character. You couldn't help but love him, like him. His status as an anti-hero is possibly one of the most deserved on this list, because not only does he save the world once, when he volunteered to be Braskel's final Aeon, he saves it twice as he figures out ways to defeat Sin for good by communicating with Auron and by managing to exert some of his own control over Sin as he does. Jekt manages to save the entirety of Spira on 2 occasions through the sheer amount of stubborn will this guy possesses alone. And I ain't gonna deny it, people. That moment when Jekt told Tidus one last time that he was going to cry, he may just have been speaking to me. I couldn't blame the Onion Slicer 9000 for the river of tears that flowed. Number 1. Here we go, guys. Ooh, who will it be? Place your bets. Think of someone. Who do you think I've put at this spot? You got it in your head? I mean, really, it isn't so hard to figure out, because really, this person's status as one of the greatest anti-heroes in the FF franchise is pretty irrefutable. And of course, that person is Arania Highwind. No. Is it too soon to call her that yet? Fine, fuck it, I'll stick to her base inspiration. Cain Highwind is stealing the crown. Of course he is. Of course he is. I mean, Cain Highwind caught up in a very awkward love triangle. Knowing when Cain is being mind controlled or just when he's being his usual straight up, no fucks a given level of awesome is pretty hard to tell at times. And that's what's great about Cain. He keeps that stoic, uncompromising, badass demeanour throughout, no matter what. And I just can't work out why Cecil gets praised over Cain. Cain is pretty much just as much the main hero of the After Years as Cecil is. Cain has done more in both games than Cecil has. Cain pretty much had a bigger enemy to take down in his game that he pretty much was the main hero, the creator. I can't work it out. I mean, he also doesn't even make as many mistakes in the process that Cecil unfortunately made. Cain actually has to work for his redemption, whereas Cecil gets it handed on a silver, you are worthy plate. And why? I mean, Cecil did just as much dark shit in the past as Cain. He also gets mind controlled in the After Years, just like Cain did. So I mean, they're kind of equal, except they're not, because Cain does do better. You have to face the facts. And then there's Liam O'Brien to take into account his voice actor, who also voiced Caius, such a good voice actor. And Caius, I would have loved to have added him to this list, but I just couldn't justify not placing him as an anti-villain. I really couldn't, as much as I tried. So, I mean, now I didn't mean to turn this into a hating on Cecil, because I do like Cecil Harvey's character, but really, when you take both FF4 and the After Years into account, you can't hold a candle against Cain Highwind. He is the hero, the anti-hero of both games to the highest degree. I think even Rosa realised she picked the wrong dude. So that's my list, guys. If you enjoyed that, if you enjoyed my list, if you agree with it, let me know. Give me a subscriber-renio, give me a like-a-renio, give me a comment-a-renio. Unless it's negative, in which case you can kiss my arse-a-renio. This was a really hard list to do. If you like these top 10s, let me know. Also, let me know, who would you have added to this list? Who did I miss out? What anti-heroes would make your top 10? I really want to know. Until the next video, guys. Kubo!